Caek and Minko. Ew.
Terrible.
So gross.
Well, I really like Greek mountain tea.
Oh, man. We didn't make me any.
Yeah, I failed.
Mm-hmm.
I failed as a partner, which is funny because today we're talking about last night.
Our new song, Last Night, which came out a couple weeks ago.
We hope it made it to you guys, and we hope you had a great Valentine's Day, and we hope that you are enjoying post-Valentine's Day love song listening to.
Okay, whatever.
That's just so much
Then
more
we hope
than a
you're
love
enjoying
song.
our song.
Well, that's my point.
Oh, I see.
Don't listen to anyone else's songs.
Yeah, no, none other songs
From
except
here on
our
out.
song and other
On
songs.
Valentine's Day, it's Caek and Minko.
Hey, that's pretty
Or
good.
nothing.
In a world. Can you do that?
In a world where everyone has gas, there's one man who has the remedy.
No. Do it like at the
Ginger.
Do one for last night, like in a world. Like what would you do?
Okay. In a world where having a 5-year-old child interrupts your entire life, you must find time for romantic, stuff.
Okay. Oh, that's really funny.
Last night, Caek and Minko. I don't know what that noise was. It's like, clearly I'm a robot. I'm a romantic robot.
I like
but
that.
Like, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Recently, we reached 50K monthly listeners on Spotify, which is huge.
And for those who don't know what K means, it's 1,000.
50,000. And for also reference, we started last August with like 100.
Yeah.
Just 100. 100.
Crickets.
So
Yeah.
in those months since then, August to March, we've gained 50,000 more listeners.
50,000 listeners.
Yeah.
Over 50,000. Today's 53,000.
Yeah. And 50
which is really blowing my mind.
Yeah.
So
and that means like 100 for what we're getting for plays is 100,000 streams a month on Spotify, which is cool.
the cool thing is that that's cool.
Oh, wow.
I'm so tired.
I think this is going to be kind of a nosedive of a podcast.
No, this is going to be terrific. No, but legitimately, I think that we have 5 songs out with this one.
Yeah.
This makes 5. And to have 50,000 monthly listeners with only 5 songs out is pretty rad.
Yeah.
And also pretty
That's
unheard
cool.
of. I think that, like a lot of people who are my friends in the music industry can attest that it's really difficult to gain listenership in the current music market with the way things are set up. So $50,000, I mean, yeah, $1,000. We have $50,000
Foreshadowing?
from 50,000. No, we have 50 cents from that. But
Yeah.
no, we're super grateful. And I think that it's a number we don't take lightly. It's a number that is very significant to me. I don't think I've ever achieved that in my entire career because I've been on streaming longer than you have, like from solo career before this.
Yeah. I've only been on with you. So.
Yeah, so 50,000's a lot, man.
Yeah.
It's funny because like if somebody who was a major, 30 million per month, listeners per month was like, drop to 50,000, they'd be like, oh man, I'm like, I'm falling off. I'm losing everything. And we're like, oh my gosh.
100 to 50K.
This is amazing. We're superstars.
I know. Somebody said, I texted Chris the other day.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you guys are blowing up. And I'm like, well,
you gotta think
comparable,
it's all perspective. Like from 100,000 when we started to 50,000 now.
100.
That's a lot.
100, not 100,000.
100,000. Yeah, we went from 100. I need coffee. I should have made coffee before this one.
Okay, before we got here, Mike was setting up the podcast stuff, and I was doing, odd things and taking Taji's temperature, which is 102.7 right now. So this podcast almost didn't happen, but he's fine.
He's fine.
He's fine.
He's chilling with his grandma,
Yeah.
having a good time,
Yeah.
watching something on the iPad.
I think he was trying to do stop motion.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's like every time I get sick, it's like a welcome excuse to drown myself in screen time. Yeah.
I love it. Last
Watch
spring,
like a whole series like in 2 days.
It's so stupid. I was talking to your mom and we were like, we always get sick around between March and May. And that was when I got really, really sick last spring. And I was in bed for like 8 days, but it was also secretly, not so secretly great because I was just on my phone watching TV and had no other responsibilities.
Speaking of romance. Michaela's romance with screen time when she's sick.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
It's so nice. It's just freedom. You can do whatever you want. It's really about freedom.
Yeah, I was going to get into this later, but I
ahead.
figure since we're already like in screens, Severance.
Oh, yeah. So Severance is the best show on television, and
pretty sure ever.
Yeah, probably
No,
ever.
I'm not even pretty sure. I can wholeheartedly say that I think Severance is the best show that has ever been made.
Yeah, it's 100% awesomeness.
So if you're not watching, we have no ties with Severance yet.
No.
Like we're cool with
Shout
those
out
guys.
Severance.
Like,
let's do a collab.
They know who we are and stuff.
We'll write a song for you.
Yeah. I'd love to do some scoring for them, except their scoring is already amazing.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, I think everyone just go watch it, man. It's so good and it's really inspiring. It's just very, very well written, well done. Great characters, great character development, amazing
Acting.
Story, mystery, just the overall
photography.
Yeah,
everything's amazing.
Yeah.
Everything's very well
aesthetic.
thought out. The aesthetic is perfect.
Yeah.
The subtle humor is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I feel like it's a certain type of humor. Yeah, it's great. Having said that,
Okay.
what are your top 5 shows of all time?
Mr. Robot.
Wait, try to get it in order.
Oh, I can't. I
Okay,
can't.
all right,
They're all tied.
Okay, all right.
Because there's different things. I do agree with you about Severance though, because it ticks off so many boxes and it's unique and it's really hard to pull off something like that, and they do it perfectly.
Yeah. So we got Severance, Mr. Robot,
Schitt's Creek,
Schitt's Creek, yeah.
Good Place,
Good Place.
The Good
The Good
Place.
Place. Merlin?
No, I don't think. I mean, it's great. I love it. It's one of my favorite shows.
Merlin,
but
yeah,
it's
but
kind of
top
like more of
5?
like a thing. I also really love New Girl.
Yeah.
And it's I know it's like a sitcom-y.
You know what?
part,
I'm not even as big a fan as New Girl as you are, but I would still probably put it in my top 5 because it's that
so
good.
funny. Like the comedy is so good, and I think everything just works so perfectly.
It's like timeless too.
It's timeless.
You could turn it on a year from now, probably 10 years from now, and it's still going to be just
perfect.
like genuine.
I think it's more having to do with the actors and the writing and the actors put together. Like
what's that dude's name? Love interest. I mean, Lamorne Morris.
Lamorne Morris.
Oh my God.
Jake Johnson.
Jake Johnson. Yeah.
Max Greenfield.
I mean, yeah. You
Zoe
can't. You
Deschanel.
can't, man. You can't. Yeah.
Hannah Simone. All of them are good.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But honestly, Lamorne Morris.
He's so funny.
Dude, that dude is special.
Yeah.
Like he just has like that Eddie Murphy factor where you just see his face do a certain thing and you're just like start laughing. Like he didn't have to say anything.
Everything that I've seen him in is great too. He was in Fargo. You didn't watch that, but he was in Fargo.
You watched Fargo.
I think he was nominated or maybe he even won an award for that.
Didn't we see recently he might be in the new Jumanji? He was in the end of the last Jumanji.
He was in the end of the last one.
Messing with the video game.
I think
I need me some Lamorne Morris in the new Jumanji.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we are big fans of Jumanji here.
So good.
Yeah. We saw Jumanji in the movies how many times?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it was like 3.
I don't know.
We at least went to the movies twice to see Jumanji.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so good.
All right.
You didn't tell me your top 5.
Well, I think they're pretty much similar. I think, I never get to watch it because of the type of humor. You don't appreciate it as much.
Sorry.
And obviously Taji can't watch it. But
What We Do in the Shadows?
Rick and Morty.
Oh, Rick and Morty. I've never even really seen it.
Oh my gosh.
But I just thought of one that was perfect and then I forgot.
Well, brew on it.
Okay.
Having said that.
Fringe. Thank you.
So I don't get to listen to as much music as I used to listen
Fringe.
to. Oh, Fringe, yeah. Fringe is really a perfect show.
It's perfect.
It's like, so Lost would be in my top 5 if Lost didn't botch the ending
It's not even the ending. It's the holes that they left throughout the whole thing.
Fair. So it's like
Fringe doesn't leave any holes.
Ability to make full circle with like a completeness that leaves you satisfied. Yeah, like no holes. Lost was the best. It would have been like probably like
great,
number 2 after Severance. Honestly, it was that good to me, but they just completely let it unravel in the end. And yeah, so I think that Fringe was the same.
It's J.J. Abrams. And,
yeah, it was like he had a second shot and he was like, all right, I'm not going to drop the ball this time. And he knocked it out of the park.
So good.
Great
and it
show.
didn't get as much, like it wasn't as popular, but
yeah,
it was
also,
amazing.
That new Pixar show, what did you think of that? Win or Lose?
Oh, that was so interesting.
So Win or Lose is a series that Pixar made, which I'm a huge fan of Pixar, always have been, love animation. But this was kind of like an
Dark.
adult
It was
version.
like
It
more
was
for
dark.
like older kids or
Older teens and up, but also
But Tashi
applicable
liked
to
it.
adults.
Yes.
I thought it was great. It was really
for sure.
exceptional as far as the animation.
We just started watching Parks and Rec.
Oh man, Parks and
Which
Rec.
I think that was the show that we watched that made a reference to Fringe. Somebody was like, I went back to the first season of Fringe to look for plot points and plot holes and couldn't find any.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what we were just talking about.
Yep.
Anyway, Parks and Rec is that. Is
Parks and Rec, stellar. Moving on. I've been listening to some new stuff.
Briefly.
I just listened to the new Lady Gaga, and it sounds really awesome. The production's pretty rad.
Mm-hmm.
But the other day I sat down and I was like doing laundry or something. I needed music, and I just threw on The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Oh, yeah. It's always good.
And I remember recently that had been put in a poll, like, or I don't know what the hell.
It's like a Rolling Stone or a Billboard thing or a top...
Top 5, kind of top, whatever.
Top 10 albums or whatever, and it was number 1.
There's probably a name for that, what that is, but anywho. And that was
list.
A list.
I don't know.
A list. I need sleep. I need so much sleep.
I was just being funny.
It's probably a list. Okay. Yeah. So this list, it was a noteworthy list.
It was something reputable.
And the top album of all time on their list was Lauryn Hill's The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. And I was like, sat down with that for a minute. And after listening the other day, I'm just like, yeah, you know what? You can't, no matter if you think that album is like your top of all time, you can't deny that it doesn't belong in at least like the top 5 albums of all time. You can't listen to that album and be like, yeah, actually,
right.
That album's phenomenal.
Super good.
Yeah. Cool. You been listening to anything lately, music-wise? No. Okay, great. We're musicians. We don't listen to music.
No, I didn't listen to the Lady Gaga album yet, but I had listened to that first single.
Was it Abracadabra?
Yes.
That song is a heat rock.
And I thought it was cool.
Yeah, that's dope.
She's so cool.
Yeah.
She's always so cool.
Yeah. So let's talk about our new song quickly. Last Night. And what that means to us and why we put it out and what we're thinking about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I just wanted to touch a little bit upon what the song means to me lyrically and kind of how it came about.
Yeah.
I had been talking to you about like after having a baby, let me backtrack. When you have a baby, your body becomes more of a tool for the baby, right? It doesn't become like yours anymore. It kind of like you give it away, especially if you're breastfeeding, which some people don't breastfeed, and then that's also fine. But I was breastfeeding, and I breastfed for a long time, which was 3 years. Then to transition back into like my body as mine now is interesting and difficult and a weird feeling. And I was expressing that to you, even to get it back in like a sexual way, right?
Yeah.
Is weird, weird transition. That's what started that conversation between us. And then I think that evolved into like our bodies change over time but we're always sexual beings, right? And the way our relationship with that changes over time and our relationship with our bodies change over time and, you know, what that feels like and it's but in a committed relationship or even not in a committed relationship, just like being sexual in the world, you know?
Yeah. I think also for me, I'm getting older and bodies change, like losing my hair a little bit, you know, and there's
wrinkles,
but ultimately,
gravity.
I don't feel different, dude. You know, I mean, like, I got some more wrinkles around my eyes when I smile, but I don't feel anything older than 18, 19, you know, like I still feel like I could just like go out in the yard and do like cartwheels and stuff. And, and I think in the job that I work outside of music as a handyman, I'm often working for older people in the community and I get to talking to them. And so many of them are so damn cool. And some of them 70s, late 70s, but you talk to them and they're right on my level. It's not like, you know, I don't think I'm recognizing this now as a parent, as somebody who's getting a little older, that it's just your body getting older, you know? You can let your mind get older, but I haven't done that yet. And so it's strange to have that interplay of, or like, duality. Did it again. Of having this young spirit, this young energy, and an aging body.
Yeah.
So
We're all deteriorating.
And also just like a sentiment to you in the lyrics of the song that I want to continue to get to know you better every day in every way.
Yeah, not even just sexually, but like romantically and intellectually.
Right.
And, yeah.
No matter what happens, like I just, I feel like there's always room to grow and there's always room to get to know more about you, because obviously in life too, we're both going in directions independently, and to find out what your independent direction is and explore that on my end.
Right.
And also try to have date nights.
Yeah.
In between momming and working and dadding and working.
You know what's cool though? Like our lives are so intertwined. And we are like business partners as much as like creative partners and life partners. We do need like date nights away from like even music but like when we're creating music together, it's also like bonding.
Yeah.
So like music really bonds us as a couple.
Yeah.
And I think if we didn't have it, we still connect in other ways for sure. But it's this huge part of our relationship.
Yeah, definitely. I really love the song. I love how you sound on it.
Yeah, I love how you sound on it.
I love how it came out.
I love that bridge.
Yeah, and honestly, just like the riff at the end, just like so.
Oh yeah, like yeah.
That's probably my favorite part of the song is when you get to the end and it's just like, yeah.
This is also the song that we like fell in love with our bassist.
Oh yeah. We already been through like 2 bassists.
Yeah, and they were great.
They were.
And
they just didn't have time.
They didn't have time, but also there's just like a creative like link that happens when there's someone that is
speaking the same language.
Yeah, speaking the same language. That's good because they can be amazing, right? Like amazing musicians that are just like on another level, but speak a different language and it doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
And it was this song, which was probably the more in-depth song for bass guitar.
Yeah.
And
I was like, you had gone away for the weekend.
I was away.
And I was sitting there and I was like, I had been through like a couple people and I was just like, we need to get this song done. We're on a deadline and I'm just like freaking out. And it's probably like
late at night. It was night.
You weren't there. So I was like, just like up
10
night
o'clock.
Internet tweaking, And I was like, all right, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to just do it. Like spent the money that we don't have. And I was just like, I'm going to go to sleep.
Yeah. And then it came out amazing. Long story short,
I was like, whoa.
It was so good. Beyond what we could even hope for.
Yeah.
All of his creative ideas worked perfectly well with what we were thinking.
Yeah.
And then we just sent him like 6 more songs
yeah.
to do. So you'll hear him on other songs as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Go check it out. It's out everywhere. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, and everywhere you guys digest your digital music, zeros and ones.
I'll mention Colin and Sarah on this one too because this is a huge one for them.
They did a lot of work on it. Yeah. We are now exiting the winter. Pretty much, starting to melt some of the snow. We've seen some days of rain instead of snow. Getting exciting. Daylight savings is tomorrow.
Yeah.
So as we're recording this, you probably have already experienced daylight savings if you live in a place where you have that. If you don't, then that's sane and smart. I'm getting really excited. We're finishing up our season of skiing.
Yeah, new skiers.
And it's funny because we live in a very mountainous place with a lot of snow.
Up north.
Yeah, we're in the mountains. And Michaela's like, yeah, I want to ski. And I was like, that's like a rich person sport. And she's like, what do you mean? No, it's not.
That's what you think.
You actually proved me wrong because although it is a rich person thing, you have found ways to do it on a budget. And it's been rad. Yeah, it's a little terrifying going down a hill sliding on 2 pieces of plastic.
Yeah. And Taji loves it. That's what motivated me to do it. But we got all used.
So cool to see him go down on the mountain. Yeah. So scary to see him go down on the mountain.
Yeah, both. Very cool.
Yeah.
But it also made me specifically, I hate winter. I hate the cold. I hate the ice. I hate the snow.
But now you like it.
But now I'm looking forward to next winter.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm also excited for spring because biking.
Yeah. I'm excited to have more daylight hours in general.
Yeah.
Like daylight savings aside, the sun being up longer is really cool. Mm-hmm. And we're about to go into our season of writing the lyrics for our next 12 songs.
Right. So we've already roughly produced 12 plus songs. Mm-hmm. And we're about ready to start writing the lyrics for those. And then after that, we'll be recording. And we got a whole plan for this year after these 12 songs come out. Yeah.
So we have now 7 songs left in the first batch of 12 songs. Mm-hmm. Really excited for the next one.
Yeah.
So you know what? This is a cool idea. So when you guys go into Spotify, you go into the regular app. But when you're an artist like us who are not cool at all, we have Spotify for Artists. Inside, we can see who is listening. Not individually, not like Steve from Arkansas, but we can see the cities and the countries that are listening to us.
And how many people in those cities are listening.
Right. So, number 1, United States. Number 2, Canada. Number 3, Germany. Number 4, United Kingdom. Number 5, France. And the U.S. takes the cake by a large chunk of the pie.
For sure.
But the top cities who listen to Caek and Minko are number 1, Chicago. Number 2, Denver. Number 3, Seattle. Number 4, Los Angeles. Number 5, live from New York. Number 6, Washington, D.C. 7, Portland. I'm guessing Oregon.
I think it's Oregon.
We love you, Portland. Number 8, Toronto, Canada. We love you, Canada. Atlanta is number 9. And number 10, Sydney, Australia.
Ooh.
If you guys are out there listening to the Caek and Minko podcast right now or seeing this video, what city are you from? And would you want us to come do a show there?
Yeah.
Tell us the city that you're from. Tell us you want to hear us, and we will make it out there someday. Moving on, which I will cut out that I said moving on. Oh, hey, this is Future Mike. It's tomorrow now. I'm wearing the same sweatshirt still, and I'm not doing that. We got news recently that we're going to have a really exciting feature on the Caek and Minko podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So we're planning out that episode. We're really excited for this one. This one's really cool from a good friend of mine. If you guys have anything you want to hear us talk about on the podcast, just let us know. If you guys have questions, again, send them in. We'll be happy to answer them. We may have some today, but we are both pretty much brain dead. So we're going to take a question break. But we thank you so much for listening to the Caek and Minko podcast and to all of our songs that we've released. And we hope to make these numbers reach up to 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify.
Well, if you want to send in questions, you can email questions@cakeandminko.com. CAEK and Minko, MINKO. Or you can just message us on Instagram.
That's probably the best way.
We check the DMs all the time. Both of those are valid.
Dim.
The DMs. Go into the DMs and I'll see the DMs.
That's about all I have left for brain power. It's like Coraline in the end where the dad's just like at nighttime.
I'll ask you a question.
When we shut the podcast off, that's me today.
I'll ask you a question.
Yeah. Rewatching Severance over and over and over and over. Go ahead.
My God.
Question.
Are you excited for the next release?
I am pretty much the most excited for the next release. Mm-hmm. And I think the stakes are higher for me for that because that's why. Was like
emotionally or musically?
Well, I guess that's not the right way to say it. I have quite an investment in the next song.
Okay.
Emotionally, everything.
Cool.
So I'm really excited for it. Yeah, it's a hard one.
Stay tuned.
For the Caek and Minko podcast.
On the next song too.
On the next song
is more of a feature from our lovely friend Dan Pomfret, who wrote our intro music for our podcast.
Yeah, we love Dan so much. Dan, if you're seeing this podcast, please come up and hang out with us soon.
Come hang out.
We love you, and our kid won't have 102 temperature forever.
Yeah.
Kids are so germy.
Kids are gross.
Kids are so germy.
On that note, bye.
Bye. Were we just in harmony?
I don't know. Let's try it again. Bye. Yeah. You did a fourth.
I did the harmony.
No, you did.
Yeah, I know.
But do you know what interval it is?
No.
It's a
But this
fourth,
is
I
the
just
part
told
of the
you.
podcast where we pretend to talk to each other while the song rides out.
Mm.